Hi, my name is Tori Mason, and I'm a CGI Celebrating Strength finalist. So I started my original career with the Department of Children and Families as a child protective investigator, and I spent 2.5 years doing that. And while doing that, I worked so closely with law enforcement that I got to see their side of things. And so while I was the first one in the houses on these reports of child abuse and neglect and these awful child deaths and things like that, that's kind of all I got to see, was the beginning of it. I didn't get the end closure. We would put them off and place them either with family or foster care or send them to services. But after that, we really had no idea what was going on. Whereas law enforcement, you kind of get to see the whole thing through. Regardless if it goes to investigations or not, you end up going to depositions and trials and hearings, and you get an end result of what happens. And you really get closure for that child if something is going on, and you get to kind of see what's happening. And so with that, I did a few ride-alongs with some of the deputies that I actually got to work with while I was in child protective investigations, and I absolutely fell in love, and I knew that I needed to make the transition. So that's when I decided to change over to law enforcement. I started my career with youth services in an elementary school, and I was able to sometimes be the first interaction that these kids had with law enforcement. And instead of being that first interaction at a disturbance call or a domestic violence or even a traffic stop where kids sometimes are scared or upset, I'm able to give them a positive interaction where I get to see them, at school and say hi, eat lunch with them, play at PE, and that's what I got to experience while I was over at the elementary school, is really impacting them on a first interaction with law enforcement. So I recently transitioned from the elementary school to the high school level. It is very different, but it is an amazing experience. These kids are wonderful. They know what they want to do. They have the drive, they have the passion. Sometimes they just need a little extra push. Maybe they're not getting the attention or confidence at home, and it may not be because they don't have supporting parents, but we live in a very large military community, so sometimes their parents are deployed or away. Sometimes brothers and sisters have sporting events where maybe mom and dad can't always be there, and they just need that little extra push. And here they can come by my office. I'm literally in the middle of the school, in the middle of a hall where I'm seeing kids every time they're changing classes, and they can pop in and they'll say hi or they'll tell me about their day. Growing up, I saw my mom and dad constantly giving. If somebody needed something, they were there to help. My mom and dad would have given the shirts off their backs to people. And I just grew up in that atmosphere, and I wanted to continue that. It's one of those things where I'll be in a drive-through and I'll pay for the person behind me. And it's gotten to a point where my daughter, when we go through drive-through, she'll go, "Can we pay for the person behind us?" And it warms my heart to realize that she understands that as well. And so I really do think that when I had that instilled in me at a young age, that it's stuck, just like it is with her. And so if you can be anything, be kind. And again, there's just so much hurt and wrong in this world that why not be kind? It doesn't take anything, it doesn't cost anything, just be nice. And so I've just always lived by that. If you can be anything, just be kind. It makes the world go around.